Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. Well, this time of year, many people enjoy a spring break, and we thought you, the viewers, might be interested in knowing what you'll be reading during spring break or knowing what our panelists will be reading during spring break. We're going to ask them to get you to tell the name of the book and a brief description of what your reading is about. John Hood, start with you.
Well, my book is called The Republican Constitution. It's a book by a law professor, Georgetown law professor named Randy Barnett. He spoke recently at NC State in North Carolina about the book. He is a longtime scholar involved with the Federalist Society. You can see where he's coming at politically. But interestingly, this book has some stern words for both parties, arguing to the Democrats that they should pay more attention to the federal Constitution limitations on the use of federal power. And to the conservatives and Republicans, he says, how come you think judges should be so deferential to other branches of government? Judges are supposed to be an independent branch standing up for the Constitution and not just ratifying whatever a majority wants to do at a particular point.
Brad Crone, what are you reading during spring break?
Well, I didn't bring my book, but I just finished Erik Larson's book, The Deadly Wake, about the sinking of the Lusitania and the complexities involved with the United States government trying to stay neutral, knowing that armaments and ammunition are shipping out of New York, headed to Great Britain and to the UK. And the other book I'm reading is American Ulysses by Ronald C. White. And that's the story of Ulysses S. Grant. Yeah. And he was truly a humble man, a great leader.
Interesting. All right, Joe Mavretic, what are you reading during spring break?
Well, I'm reading Escaping Vietnam, written by Harriet, who lives in Raleigh, and Hyoanh Buonya, who as a 19-year-old spent 11 years, as a 16-year-old, spent 11 years in the jungles evading Viet Cong, North Vietnamese, and Pot Pals. I had a child while in the jungle, came to the United States, didn't know any English, anything, came to the United States as a Montagnard, and now has children who are college graduates and professionals.
Interesting. Well, my two books for spring break, I've already finished one of them. I'm partway through the other one, are from Nigel Hamilton. Love history, love biographies. The first one is called Mantle of Command, about Franklin Roosevelt in the 1941-42 era. And the second one is called Commander-in-Chief, which goes into 42 and 43, using diaries from FDR and from his generals and a number of other people. Nigel has put together a fascinating read about how America came from being an isolationist country after World War I to being the most powerful war machine the world has ever seen. Good reads. I recommended them to you. Well, thank you for, Chris, let me get to yours. I'm sorry.
I read too, Tom.
Okay. Well, evidently you didn't bring it.
Well,
right,
you let Brad talk. I didn't bring it. I read it online.
Go ahead.
Actually, there's a fascinating book, Strangers in Their Own Land, by a sociologist, Arlie Hochschild. I think it's how you pronounce her last name. I apologize. She's a Berkeley sociologist, so you'd think, well, what in the world is that about? She was trying to understand, this was written right before the election, finished right before the election. She was trying to understand the Tea Party movement, the Trump supporters, and she went to Louisiana and spent months and months and months literally visiting with people in their homes and given in this area. And we talked on this show about the polarization and people wanting people to work together to try to understand how Americans could be dramatically different based on where they live and what they believe and how they worship. And it was a fascinating, I thought, a read and a lot of insight into what happened in November.
Tell us the name again.
Strangers in Their Own Land.
And it's by?
Arlie Hochschild, Hochschhild. It's very good.
Brad, yours was?
Erik Larson, Deadly Wake, and American Ulysses by Ronald C. White.
All right. John?
Randy Barnett's The Republican, not the Party, Constitution.
All right.
And Escaping Vietnam by Harriet.
All right, that gives you something to do during your spring break. Thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.